So let's discuss what interviews and news conference formats are like. An interview, as you would know, is fairly straightforward. The typical setting is anywhere from 1 to 1.5 hours. It can be a recorded interview or just a face-to-face interview where the reporter comes in, takes notes, things like that. The output, more often than not, would be an article. If it's a recorded interview, then of course it would be recorded. But most of the time, when we talk about interviews, it's always face to face, one on one for the written word. And it's a very personal approach because what happens is the person who's conducting the interview would call, which gives it that exclusivity. They would call and arrange for an appointment. First of all, they would come in and say, look, I'm interested in interviewing your spokesperson regarding this matter. Would you be available? And we would often never say no because interview opportunities are quite rare. Most of the time, you have to pitch for it. So when an opportunity arises, we take it because it's free brand awareness. Um, the Institution of Engineers of Malaysia, for example, they were the ones who approached Talent Corporation, said that, look, we would like to interview somebody to talk about um, women on boards. Are you okay with it? So we said, okay, not a problem. But can we have the questions in advance? We also asked them things like, do you need a photographer? Will a photographer be there? And when they said no, then okay. Do you need pictures? What kind of photos do you like? We also asked them, before you publish it, can you let us take a look at it so we can clean up a few things if need be. We don't insist, but we asked, and we rely on building a relationship with them. So what happens in an interview in this situation would be that it's often one to one. So it'd be the interviewer with the spokesperson and the media person inside, which is basically you as the PR practitioner. Your job will be there to monitor anything, to step in if need be. And usually, in reality, these interviews are fairly tame. Nothing untoward happens. The whole scenario when Najib burst out and said, threw a tantrum and said he didn't want to do the interview anymore, that is not very common because, as explained earlier when we were talking about info packs, we try to prepare um, for a situation like that. And most of the time, people are just happy to stick to the questions, and then that's it. Okay. For a news conference, it's a little bit different. The setting is much, much shorter because, unlike an interview where it's exclusive, you need to write in, make arrangements. A news conference is open invitation to the media. Okay, so the longer your news conference is, there's more likelihood of you being bombarded with questions that you don't want to answer. And you need to answer almost all the questions. You can't just keep saying no comment, no comment, no comment. So a typical setting for a news conference would be anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, depending on the issue. It can be represented by one person or it can be represented by a panel of people, depending on the situation. So the output here are either written or broadcast based, and it's a very corporate approach. So the setting is formal. Um, it will usually often take place after an event, after a breaking news situation, and the goal here would be to disseminate information and ensure coverage. Okay, you don't want to compete with other events happening, so you have a press conference and then you talk about news coverage. So I'll show you a short press conference done during the Christchurch shootings, just to let you see what are some of the examples. If you go online, you can also see them happening as well. The White House has tons of them all the time. Okay, so these are some examples of press conferences or news conference. All right.